Oracles of Olympus. Welcome to Oracles of Olympus, the podcast of all things in miniature wargaming, role-playing, board games, and general nerd culture, all with a taste of cynicism, sarcasm, and nerdy banter. Please join Kyle, Ryan, CJ, and GM Drew as we break down all the stuff.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 19, Oracles of Olympus.
Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Yeah!
Treason Day. Treason never felt so good.
July 4th. A special message to you, Curtis, if you're listening to this one, now that you've joined the English.
Suck it, Limey.
So, we
Bet
won.
you miss your freedom, don't you?
We won.
The colonials are back.
That's what's important. As I drink my coffee and not tea right now.
Right.
That'll teach them.
I drink my Pepsi with a red, white, and blue logo.
I'm literally drinking freedom juice. I'm drinking an energy drink that's probably super unhealthy and will give me cancer.
It's the American dream.
Super unhealthy and you'll get cancer. That's
The only thing that'd be
dream.
better, Ryan, is if you could be like smoking while taking bites out of your bacon cheeseburger right now.
Yes.
I'm also, by the way, I'm
Freedom.
super hungry. And I'm very disappointed that we don't have any donuts.
I know. I thought about that, and then I was like,
God, I was counting on you,
we're all kinda,
Obi-Wan.
except for Ryan Fatties. Sorry, Drew. You're getting better. You're
Thank
losing
you.
Weight. I've seen
Appreciate
your
that.
diet pictures on Facebook.
Yeah,
I'm a chub
Like
scout.
fajita grilling night.
Aw.
yep.
Are you doing low carb?
I am low carb and low calorie.
Is it working?
I'm down 14.
Oh, congratulations.
Mhm.
Nice.
Wow.
Yep.
So, well, this is not a diet podcast, so let's talk
Yeah,
about
it's
gaming and
definitely
nerd
not.
culture.
What we're
No,
gonna
it's
have
not.
to do is
As we
balance
talk
our
about
macros.
dose. Yeah. Although GM Drew's working to be the healthier, as Kyle and I remain the fat kids.
Yeah. I think about dieting every once in a while.
I'll usually, for 2 days in a row, I'll go low calorie, then I fall off the wagon.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, low calorie sucks.
It's tough.
I'm doing it too.
Yeah.
It sucks.
You know, they have a term for low calorie, too, that I like to use, and it's called concentration camp.
Sorry.
It's concentration camp diet.
That's extremely low calorie.
Yeah.
It's all fun and games until you're sitting in Denny's, and then you see these pancake you can order with, caramel and whipped cream and butter
Okay,
and
well,
they
yeah,
bake
you don't-
extra
you don't get
caramelized
any-
sugar into it, and you're just like, shit.
You don't get any of that in the Canadian happy camps.
No, you don't.
So, Canadian happy camp.
Yeah, where you have
It's
access.
happy camp.
Yeah, you have access to the best medical and dental. You can play fun games and eat good food.
Oh, yeah. You'll get fairly
It's just maple
compensated for
syrup
your-
and pipe
for your
pancakes
labor.
all the time.
Fairly compensated for your labor.
Yeah,
Fair wages.
it's definitely not a concentration camp set up by the American government for Canadian citizens.
Nope.
No way.
America's Canada.
Welcome to work
Cool.
camp, buddy.
All right. So,
All right.
what we got
Drew moves us on.
going on this week, or the next couple of weeks, we have an Age of Shadespire.
Age of
Age of Shadespire.
Wow, it's early. We have a Shadespire league.
We have a Shadespire League and an Age of Sigmar Grow League. So we had double league this month.
We do.
Double the fun. Age
Double
of
league, double
Sigmar
fun.
Grow League starting on July 12th.
Yeah.
Which is a Thursday. And then the Shadespire Grow League, or sorry, not Grow League, just regular league.
See, it's
there.
not just me.
I know, right? Yeah, it's definitely early. Shadespire League starts this Sunday. The 8th?
Yes.
Yeah, the 8th. I'm actually really looking forward to that. There's some new stuff coming out for Shadespire next week that I think is going to be really, really cool.
It's good. It's well timed for our league.
It is well timed. So next week we get the leader cards.
I haven't read any about it, so what's it about, Kyle?
Yeah,
Have you
I've read a little bit. Well, I talked to our rep about it, I should say. So we get the leader cards next week, which is a pack of cards that is essentially designed to bring out the most in your leader. Basically, your leader goes to a training seminar and comes back feeling all pumped up and shit. It seems like a good thing. I don't know. For me, as far as my gang goes, I play the Fire Slayers and Chosen Axes. I always feel like my leader does a lot of my heavy lifting. So I don't know. I don't have one of those gangs where I'm like, oh, my leader doesn't feel very cool. Like mine seems like he stomps a lot of ass.
Mine does too. I play Skaven, and I had a weird image in my head when he said he went off to like a leadership camp and came back.
Yeah.
Like I pictured him in like a white collared shirt. He's like, "Okay, rats, listen up!" Like when he walks in.
See, when I picture a Skaven going off to leadership camp, it's at Canadian Happy Camp. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we get the new leader cards. We also get the new board for Shadespire, which is pretty unique. So it's the first expansion, basically board wise, that we've had for Shadespire in the almost year that it's been out. And the cool thing about this one is it's not just a board like the other ones. Like it has new hazards and traps. Ooh. So the new board is dangerous. And both sides of the new board have line of sight blocking areas, which is definitely one of my favorite things, especially if you're playing against gangs like Farstrider, where they have lots of shooting. So yeah, I like to not get shot, so I'm very excited about having pillars and stuff to hide behind.
Excellent. What's going on in Star Wars world?
Star Wars these days. What is happening in Star Wars? So
it's kind of like a vacuum right now. Everyone's like kind of waiting for the new edition. I feel like.
Yeah, I think right now with a couple things. One, X-wing is. I think X-wing slowed a little bit. We had this month, our past weekly night, where normally we have like 10 X-wing people. There was one person.
Aw.
So I think part of it's the holiday, but part of it is I think people
so.
are kind of hunkering down for second edition.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll have some testing of lists as people get ready for our store championship.
And when is that?
Oh boy.
August?
It's August. I believe
it's August 6th.
6th?
Yeah,
it is August
sounds
6th,
right.
yeah.
That sounds right.
So I think we'll see some testing for that. I myself would like to play. My problem in X-Wing is I like to play fluffy, themey lists, which doesn't always equate well in X-Wing.
In version 1 of X-Wing, fluffy doesn't really work in my mind.
Like I want to do the TIE Reaper with Director Krennic, and then 2 TIE Stalkers as escorts, and I'm like, it'd be cool. It'd be themey. I have no idea how it'd play at all, but it'd be fun.
And then someone drops down, they're like, TLT everywhere!
Like, oh,
TLT
no.
harpoon guns!
It's Kylo Ren and Darth Vader. No!
Yeah, womp womp.
I absolutely hate. I'm so glad that they broke First Order and Resistance into its own faction, because I can't explain why, but nothing pisses me off more when there's characters playing together that are dead. They're not alive at the same time. I'm a stickler for
doing force high fives out the windows.
Yeah, I'm like, no, Kylo, you're not flying with your grandfather.
That's like it's grandfather and grandson bonding time, though.
It is. It's like a Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah.
That absolutely drives me bonkers when that happens. So, or like, there's Emperor Palpatine and, I don't know, take your pick of somebody who wasn't there.
Sure.
So that drives me crazy. But I think we'll see some stuff. Also,
I mean, as far as fighter ship combat, Emperor Palpatine was technically never there.
No, he wasn't.
But also always there because he was using his force powers to buff up all of the Imperial troops.
He's basically like the Emperor of Mankind, where he's like the Emperor I view in 40K is like psychically helping his children.
Yeah.
And his troops, whereas Emperor Palpatine would occasionally like tune in somewhere and be like, like turn someone's engine off or something.
Well, in the old books, he was basically like the Emperor in 40K. He was constantly using battle meditation.
Yes, he was.
And it was like helping the entire Empire fight. And that was the excuse in the old books why the Empire basically fucking crumbles, because all their pilots are actually shitty. He was just helping them all.
Yeah.
They're like, I feel somewhat less competent today.
Like, this is weird. It's like, I clipped an asteroid.
Yeah, I mean, they were already kind of like subpar, only 15 hours of flight time sort of pilots to begin with. It was like a more of a quantity than quality sort of thing.
Yes. Hey, kids, you want to join the Empire?
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, right. Like,
outfit.
Basically,
it's Joseph Stalin.
Yeah.
Quantity has a quality all to its own.
Basically, you have to have middling, at least middling vision, and then like somewhat reaction time, and you could spend 5 hours in this trainer, speeder, and then fuck it, we'll get pilot.
There's like the slow kid. They throw a baseball at him, it hits him, then he tries to catch it. They're like, put him in a bomber.
Yeah. And that kid grew up to become Major Reimer. He got bomb stuff real good.
Yeah, a bomb thing. I can fly in a straight line and hit the button.
Yeah.
I do it faster than most, so that's why I'm major.
Yeah.
But
He's just survived 2 battles. That's why he's a major. The
Yeah.
casualty, the mortality rate amongst Imperial pilots has got to be fucking astronomically high.
It's basically
It's got to be the worst job in the Empire.
It's like the first weeks of daylight bombing for the Americans over
Yeah,
Nazi
right?
Germany. Like, we lost a third of the planes again. Send some more.
Whoopsies.
You're promoted.
Man.
So
I mean,
We got to
You know,
promote somebody, and there's a guy. I can make it fly. They're like, hired. You're promoted and go.
like, how many flights did American bomber crews have to make? It wasn't it like 10 or 12 flights, and then they
it was
could be
20.
done?
It was 20,
20 flights.
20 missions.
And it's
we were done.
basically a death sentence. Like
Yeah, essentially.
Like, it's a giant media event when Memphis Belle's getting close to making their last one.
Yeah.
Where it's like, holy shit, someone's going to do it.
They've lived this whole time?
It's like, we got to come out with a new Army regulation that changes at 25. Like,
Yeah, right. Oh, it's doable now. Now we're going to raise the bar.
so, and then as far as the Legion, we do have a league where we're going to start in August. God willing, the boat from China is coming quickly with Han Solo and the Rebel Commandos. But I'm not holding
On
my
some
breath.
level, like, I think that the Chinese, like, boat captains
Yeah.
on these shipping boats, like, ha, 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 gonna make you wait, yeah. He's like,
go in circles.
yeah, he's like, I know what I have in here. I'm gonna make your market wait for it. He's like, ha.
Because they'll sell
There's
out
a
within, like,
disturbance.
the first weekend, of course.
There's a
Right.
disturbance
But-
in the force as a million nerds cry
A
out in
million
pain.
nerds.
And a million nerds cry out in pain. Yeah.
So, but for our league coming in August, I have been adding more terrain. I just added like 15 or 20 crates, and I know that sounds really boring,
Woo.
but they're actually
Crates.
amazing.
They are really. I saw them.
Yeah,
They are pretty.
they're all they're MDF terrain, but they're all done with the logos of different corporations from Star Wars, like Sinar Systems, Carillion Engineering, and they're all pre-done
Look at you
colors.
go.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're going to actually have some sweet new terrain as I keep adding more and more terrain. Because to me, one of the cool things in Star Wars is with Legion is traveling to the worlds you see in the movie, and almost for me more the cartoons just because they're more diverse. It's not just
Cartoons do have
it's
more
not
than
just
3
snow,
locations
forest,
to
desert.
fight. Yeah.
Okay. I started watching Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, about time.
It's pretty good.
You like it?
It's
Okay.
fucking
It's
phenomenal.
pretty good.
If you
Yeah.
didn't like it, then I
Like,
would seriously think you're a fucking
for a
pod
little
person.
while, I was like, "Oh man, this is kind of kiddish," and then
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean, it's,
like an hour into it, I was like, maybe I'll go to bed. I'll turn this off. Like 3 hours later, I was like, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
it's definitely
It's fun, isn't it?
yeah.
You can tell it's definitely designed to be on Cartoon Network, and I do think like the first couple episodes are kind of like, yeah, they're kind of alright.
Yeah, that's how
it gets real good. Like,
Yeah.
It's the same with. Have any of you seen Star Wars Rebels?
Mhm.
Okay, so I thought it was the same with Rebels, where it started off more kiddish, and then they kind of got more serious with it as they
Yeah.
went on.
Yeah,
And they realized
absolutely.
a lot of
I think
nerd-
on some level, I think they understand who their market is, though, right?
Yeah,
like,
they
I
do.
feel like
It's
kids don't
guys
have-
like me and Ryan, Drew's
Yeah.
age, yeah. Like,
I feel like kids don't have the attention span for that kind of stuff right now. They'd be too
Mhm.
busy playing on an iPad or some shit at this point.
and
Yes.
then they'll tune in and then tune out, and tune in and tune out.
Right.
And they're like, oh, there's
I think-
Yoda. Tune in.
I think
and
it's
then they'll be,
I think
"Oh,
it's a
tune
show designed so that you can watch it with your kids, right?
it absolutely, I think so.
You know, that's sort of like
if I had kids, I'd watch it with them,
Yeah,
and I'll
right.
make them watch all the episodes because I want to talk to them about it.
I just got.
It's
done-
not optional.
Well, speaking of episodes, I just got done with the one where they ambushed General Grievous in his hideout.
Oh, that's a sweet one.
That was a pretty good
Yeah,
episode.
that's super cool.
Yeah, and there's a new cartoon coming out this fall.
Dave Filoni's doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for that. He
Yeah.
did Clone Wars and Rebels, so
It takes
he
place-
has a good.
After
feel like-
Jedi, which
Okay.
is a cool space to be in,
Yes.
right?
He's
Maybe.
Which one's he doing?
I feel
hope,
like
I don't know why I still hold out hope, but I do.
Yeah, you got to.
I'm holding out all my hope for Star Wars right now is held out for like the creators of Game of Thrones to be creating the next trilogy
Yeah,
because it's gonna be good.
it is going to be.
Like
Well,
they could half-ass it and still be better than what we have right now.
It would still be like 2 3/4 assed compared.
Yeah,
there was which brings me on to my deeper topic I wanted to bring up.
Ooh.
No?
Yeah, I didn't put it in your show notes because I thought about it while we were building up to
At
this.
some point, I want to circle back to MDF terrain too.
Okay, do you want to finish MDF terrain?
Nah, go ahead.
Okay.
You do your
So because I'm a hopeless Star Wars guy, I read all kinds of the news about it's in my news feed about what's happening with the movies and the productions and stuff like that. And apparently there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with Disney right now where Disney wants to fire Kathleen Kennedy, who is like the head of all of Star Wars right now for Lucasfilm and developing the whole new series. And they received basically a lot of they call them Kennedy loyalists, which are people she brought in to help run the company, kind of got wind of it and somewhat rebelled and said, ironically, rebelled, to the Emperor of Disney and said, if you get rid of her, we're not going to accept someone new. It's, basically saying we're not going to stand for it. But they apparently had a closed door meeting with the head. Well, here's what's interesting is the head of Disney, he called a closed door meeting that excluded Kathleen Kennedy, but he brought in the head of Marvel Studios and he brought in the head of Pixar and the board for Disney to talk about it and excluded all the Lucasfilm people.
Is this just reaction of Solo?
What?
So there's a couple factors, right?
Well, she greenlit the Leia Superman thing.
When will Disney begin perestroika and begin reorganizing?
Will they have their Night of Terror where they clean out?
Right, so, all of a sudden the communist KGB and Stasi come round up all the dissidents who are we're loyal to Kennedy, and they're like, that's fine, you'll be loyal in Gulag.
Loyal in Gulag.
You will be still just as loyal in Siberia, my friend. Prepare to freeze to death.
That's what I was thinking. They're sitting there they're like, oh yeah, we're not going to stand for somebody new and we'll rebel. They're like, okay, you're fired too then. It's
you're
Disney.
Done. It's over.
In words of Rick and Morty, you're using Monopoly money at Caesar's Palace here. It just doesn't work.
Well, and so some of the factors that I was reading, are you reading about it right now?
Mm-hmm, I am.
Yeah. Some of the factors that I read about are that they're upset over a couple things, right? They're upset over the performance of Last Jedi and Solo. Mm-hmm. They're upset over kind of the wholesale rejection of Last Jedi by a lot of the traditional fans. Apparently, there were some creative decisions that she made that a lot of people questioned, and she said, no, this is the route we're going to go. But then there's also kind of an alienating of the main fan base, and that she has pushed she's helped push a little bit of a political and kind of feminist agenda into Star Wars that's made some of their folks uncomfortable.
Didn't we talk about this on a different podcast?
We did.
Okay.
And
that's funny how we saw that. They were we were talking about how, oh yeah, they're just trying to get in a new fan base and push out the old one, and
apparently in Last Jedi I read a lot of the old guard while it was being made said, look, why is Leia coming back to life? Why are you destroying some of the canon things that have always been there? You could always hyperspace and you never hit a ship before.
Uh-huh.
You don't Mary Poppins back into the ship. So there were some of the old guard that were you're kind of breaking your own culture, your own rules here. But then there was also a lot of push.
It's as though they weren't quite as reverent and didn't give any fucks about making Star Wars.
So a quote that
they're like, this is like printing money.
The thing that I think is the most interesting is I feel like the Last Jedi is very divisive. You either loved it or you hated it.
Yeah.
And for me, I hated it because it broke so much of what I loved about Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was just disregarding so much. It kind of pissed on
and
some
we're not
treasured
alone
characters.
In that. Yeah.
We're not, no. And I know there are people who like it, and I respect
then,
their opinion and their desire to like it, but goddamn did that movie disappoint me.
And the Casino Planet.
And what, yeah.
That was where we start getting into the politics.
We could talk about it for hours and hours, but for me, what pisses me off the most is I know that they can do good because they did Rogue One, which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yes.
They did Solo, which I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the shit. Was it as good as Rogue One? No, not as good as Rogue One still. But it was still pretty goddamn good.
It's like they're just fucking up the new story after.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
it's the new trilogy that's the train wreck.
So that's why when I hear there's a new Star Wars animated series coming out, but it's set in that new era, I'm like, I don't fucking care.
My
I want to be in
only
that
faith is that Dave Filoni is good at what he does. That's
right.
my only hope.
Which is, I think, and I think that there's a lot of potential there, but I'm so hesitant because it's set in an era that feels so pissed on already that I just don't want it. I'm disinterested in the post Battle of Endor era right now.
Some of the other things that kind of came out with that, not only did they break the canon, they said that there was a lot of pushback that it felt very much like, it was trying to push a feminist agenda with a lot of the characters.
I felt that for a while.
I did too, especially with they're like, who is this lady who's now leading? And I think the actress was fine in the role, but the lady who kind of took over the fleet, they're like, it looks like she should be selling you clothes at a hipster dress store in California.
The purple hair was a weird choice. It was we're going to make you more sci-fi, purple hair.
Yeah, and it's
where's
a
But
uniform?
you're a human character.
Because I feel like I also feel like they tried to Mon Mothma her a lot.
They did.
She has her wardrobe looks very similar to Mon Mothma, but gray. And I'm like, here's part of my problem with you, Resistance. you're not taking yourself seriously. How about try uniforms?
Yeah, right.
You're just wearing like your fucking street clothes.
Yeah,
like you're supposed to be
that
commander of the
doesn't
fleet, and you're just
instill
wearing
any
this like.
discipline. And it's
basically
like, you know,
gown?
they
Like,
kind
come
of they treat Poe as kind of the guy who doesn't know anything going on. He's trying to mansplain why we need to fix things, and the ladies are like, "No, Poe, we're going to show you what's right." And apparently, that was I've learned from some behind the scenes stuff they talked about with the reading. That was actually a direct conflict over how the characters would interact when they were developing it. And Kennedy kind of overrode, "No, we need this message." In fact, she had a quote where she said, "I'm not here to please the fan base. I'm here to tell the story."
Well, then go write your own damn.
That's
world.
what I think too, because it's like you're alienating what made Star Wars great for 40 years, the people that carried it and kept it going.
Right.
So, and in fact, even Mark Hamill says, there's no secret out there if you read that Mark Hamill was pissed off about what they did with his character, Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, he was not happy.
No, and probably the most
Which
poignant
is good
quote.
because I was pissed off.
I was
about it.
too.
They
It
pissed
made no
all
sense.
over.
He says in
all
an
over
interview
Luke.
before Disney's like, "Hey, shut up, Mark." He says in one interview, he's like, "Who is this Luke Skywalker?" He's like, "Because this is not Luke I know. This is not what Luke would do."
Nope.
Yeah, and so there were a lot of issues, and I think that Disney's finally starting to see that pushback from the core fan base that's carried it, and I don't think that they've. Here's where it comes down to in the end, right? Is money. Is they said that what they finally kind of put together, at least at Disney headquarters, is that even though Kennedy and Rian Johnson were trying to appeal to a whole new group and bring them in that liked the movie, which tends to be the folks that did like the movie, more mainstream kind of generalist viewers in America, those people aren't getting subscription services. They aren't going to Star Wars Celebration. They aren't buying toys.
They're not the diehards.
They're not the diehards. But what they've done is they've somewhat alienated some of their diehards who were the ones that were spending all the money in the other areas. And they're starting to see that. That's where it's really coming down
Absolutely.
to. And Kennedy's like, apparently they had a meeting, and Kennedy's like, "No, full steam ahead on the next movie with what we've been doing." And Disney's like, "We don't want you to
Full
do
steam
that."
ahead on generic plot with some politics put into
with
it.
some politics and feminism on the side.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. I thought it was worth bringing up because I think it is. It
God, that
does.
movie makes me angry.
It does.
The whole
yeah.
fucking movie does. There's no advancement to the entire goddamn story.
No.
It's a small group of rebels running from the Empire, and then it becomes a slightly smaller group of rebels still running from the fucking Empire. At the end of the movie, there's no. God damn it! I started thinking about it. It just made me fucking
What's
angry.
funny, I saw
see
it's
your
on
face getting
Netflix.
more and more
Yeah.
red.
It's on Netflix now, and I saw it. And
I saw it on Netflix. I saw that. I was just like, "Fuck you." That's what I said to it out loud. I was like, "Fuck you." Skip.
I bought it only for completion of my collection
Yeah.
of movies. But I mean, I'm still a diehard fanboy.
It would
But-
be the one Star Wars movie I don't think I will buy.
Yeah,
I just
so
don't care
sad
enough.
what they did to it. But I mean, even you think of, again, I keep going back to what they did to Luke. Like he just they neutered Luke and are like made him like grumpy, depressed.
It pisses me off that he spends the entire first trilogy learning to overcome fear and like master his emotions, and then in the last movie that he's in, they're like, "Yeah, he's just not doing shit because he's afraid, and he's like an emotional wreck." Like, God fucking damn it! Come on,
Well,
are you
and
fucking kidding me?
like something somebody pointed out that I hadn't thought of, but it was an obvious one. They're like, on the scene at the end where he confronts Kylo, how many problems there are with that? One, he's never actually in danger. Two, if you can force project anywhere, why wasn't he doing this earlier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Three, he still dies, but he wasn't actually in the duel. Wouldn't it have been better to see him actually fight a real duel and get killed instead of just kind of his cloak goes away?
They just made like 30 plot holes with one writing.
They did, and then the last thing is
They're
they
like,
said
"Oops."
that his Kylo says to him, "Have you come here to try and save me?" And Luke says no. And it's like, isn't it a little?
That's the most
Yeah,
un-Luke thing
It's the
ever.
most un-Luke thing where
He
in
saves-
3 movies he's trying to save his father.
Yeah, he
who's the most
saves
evil
Darth
man in the
Vader,
galaxy.
right? Literally the guy who kills whole
Yeah.
rooms full of children.
But his conflicted emo grandson,
young
he's like, or great nephew, he's like, no, fuck you, I'm
Right?
gonna kill you.
I can't handle it. I can't save you.
On top of it, it was his old like trainee.
Somebody outside's bike curious.
Yeah.
Someone's doing chicken spears
Yeah.
outside.
God damn.
No, and it was his old
It's
trainee.
like
his
fucking
old
just
Padawan.
drive your bike off right. No one gives a fuck if you rev it 20 times. Let me put down a message out to you here, kids. If you have a motorcycle and you start that motherfucker up and you feel the need to rev that sumbitch like 10, 12 times, no one cares about your tiny fucking dick, dude. Just fucking drive off on your motorcycle. Like, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you think it's cool. Stop revving up and waste the rest of our fucking time. Right?
There could
You
be
know,
people
I'm
trying to
sorry that you
record
don't have a
podcasts.
regular sized dick and you can't just throw that around like you need to, but
The motorcycle helps. Public service announcement.
yeah.
Cool.
So that finishes off that topic, but I thought it was worth bringing up. 'cause
absolutely.
Now I'm like I'm
So,
really
yeah,
awake now because I'm
You got
angry.
me, you got me thinking because like Luke wants to save his father, who he's never met. But
Yes.
he's like, maybe there's good in him, except he doesn't want to.
Are you fucking serious? That fucking motorcycle selling. God damn.
Luke but Luke doesn't want to save his own like Padawan trainee,
Gotta
who
be
he
shitting
knows
me.
there's good at. He's just like, no, my dad I never met. He's probably a good guy, but
Yeah.
the guy I've been training.
that I raised,
That
and
I
then I was
raised-
going to kill, and he saw me, and then got
I
confused
don't-
over why I was going to
Which
kill
is
him.
stupid,
Yeah.
too. I had a moment
Luke,
of
they never
weakness.
The
tried-
moment, the moment where Luke's like, I'm gonna kill him, like that was also lazy fucking writing. They're
Yeah.
like, we need to manufacture a conflict. How do we do it with this super paladin character who wouldn't do anything evil? I don't know, make him do something evil. Like, God fucking
Hot
damn it.
murders. Like,
God, that movie makes me angry.
If you see how Luke behaves, if this is our Luke, if this is who Luke is, I can sympathize with Kylo Ren. He's a much more understandable character. Like,
Who the fuck
his
is the
uncle
actual
was a
villain of
fucking
this
asshole.
series? Who the fuck is the actual
Well,
villain?
you're right. That's
Is
a
it
great point.
Kylo
Is
Ren?
it Kylo
Because
Ren?
I'm not afraid of
I
him.
thought it was Snoke
There's
for a
no
while.
men. Yeah, everyone thought it was Snoke too, but apparently he's not important.
yeah, the whole thing.
Let's just gloss over Grand Supreme Admiral Leader Snoke because fuck it, he doesn't have any real background. We don't need
The
any.
first
and
movie
we need
brought so
answers.
much mystery, and everyone's like, "Wow, he may be like this
Right?
real big Sith Lord or
Spent a
someone
full
forgotten
year and a
by
half
time."
reading articles about who Snoke might be.
Mace Windu.
Yeah,
And then it's like, oh,
is
yeah.
it Darth who was
Plagueis? Yeah.
Plagueis. Darth
Revan.
Plagueis.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
said resurrected Darth Revan
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
There was
They're
a
like
lot
fucking-
of cool
I
ideas.
spent a year and a half reading articles about who it might be.
And who
And then
raised
for them to
parents.
just gloss over that shit, and be like,
Yeah.
"Ha, he got cut in half by a lightsaber." Ha 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 ha! Yeah, he's dead. What the fuck? Are you fucking serious?
I'm
And he has
so
like those crimson guards. First of all, no eyes in a helmet. Bad choice. That is a first way to get your fucking head lopped off by a light sword. Secondly, the fucking if Rey hadn't been there, the 10 of those guys would have whooped Kylo Ren's ass. They almost killed Rey and Kylo Ren. Why the fuck do you need either Rey or Kylo Ren when you got 10 of these guys? That's like your Crimson Murder Squad. Like you need a whole star system murderated. These dudes are gonna go in there and they're gonna kick some shit, dude.
I always wondered about guards who are guarding like a king or an emperor like this. As soon
Gosh,
as they
it's
see
a
the
rabbit
emperor
hole.
gets killed, right? Why would they have any loyalty still?
You're like, who's
It's like-
paying me now? Like,
Right?
it's
Well,
turn.
what do you
turn
want
a
us to
one
do?
into a zero, real
Right?
quick.
I always-
Wait, who's
yeah.
paying me?
What if we all just sort of chipped in for the better of the community? Yeah, I'll guard something if I get a little extra food.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Okay.
the purge. It's
In,
the purge.
in Star Wars rant here.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's a real dark space that we can get really far into, and I feel like people are probably tired of hearing us fucking drone on about.
We do love Star Wars. Just
I love
do.
Star Wars,
I
but
Not
grew
that
up
movie.
with it.
ugh. Well, yeah, I mean, who didn't? Right?
Well,
It's
no,
just
like-
it makes what Lucas did in the first 3 movies seem okay and cool.
You
Yeah,
mean
I'm
the
sorry,
pre-
it
the
does.
prequels?
Yeah, the prequels.
no.
Oh, the prequels are hands down better than
way
the
better
last
than what
two.
we've been doing.
Yeah.
Like episode 1 is still hot monkey shit. Like
And
it
I would
isn't-
watch it any time of the week and Sunday over fucking Last Jedi.
I hate to say this because episode 1 is like a raging dumpster fire full of puppies and all of the dreams of the world, but it is still better than Last Jedi.
It is.
This new one.
There is
is
still
like,
more for me to enjoy in episode 1 than there was in
I
episode 8.
at least don't break the world. Like,
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All we got was a racist,
Yeah, they
annoying
did.
character.
They
What did they
broke-
break?
The midi-chlorian crap.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll give you
okay,
that
sure.
one. Metachlorians
I
is
forgot
stupid.
about Space God. But is that the one break? Because it's not pissing all over a character I've loved for 20-something years. It's just putting in an extra layer to the Force.
Sure,
which,
they did pissed on Vader Anakin was a little bitch in that movie.
He's like 7.
Yeah, he's a kid,
doesn't
so I can
bother me.
forgive that.
Yeah,
Most
that-
7-year-olds
yeah.
are annoying.
Were you like some dark, brooding, evil person when you were 7?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's supposed to start
Little
out
GM
good.
Drew, like I just picture a 7-year-old with the same beard, just like opening up little D&D books in the 70s. No, 80s?
80s.
80s.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not that old.
I'm sorry.
Riding his bike, going, guys, it's time to DM.
It's like
Time
guys,
for
let's get together.
D&D.
So we have
That's
I
right.
almost did it.
we have Age of Sigmar now.
We do.
Yeah.
How now
Woo!
that you've played it a bit,
It's very much like the last game. It's super minor differences.
Their
The
differences
command
are
points are the
small,
big
but
thing.
I think they're significant differences.
Yeah.
Like magic changing, like even things just like increasing the range at which you can unbind feels
Yeah.
big to me. Here's
That
what I
was
can
huge.
say. I've played like maybe 7 or 8 games of the new edition. You definitely want a magic caster in this edition because
You
I have played all
absolutely
of my
do.
games sans wizard,
And it's
and
bedtime.
it is really hard.
Yeah.
Like this new edition, if you don't have a wizard,
It's
you're
tough.
wrong. Go get a wizard. Trust me. Like
It's
they're
nice.
really important to have, and that's a big deal. I do really like the new edition. I can honestly say that it is the best Age of Sigmar out of both of them.
Out of the two?
Yeah, out of the two. It's the stronger of the two. I'm enjoying playing Age of Sigmar more than 40k right now. That's for sure. Like, don't get me wrong, I love 40k, but Age of Sigmar is a shit ton of fun, and it is really addicting right now. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
so that leads us to our conversation we wanted to have, that we actually planned, was we've had some games of Sigmar in the shop, and we wanted to talk about sportsmanship and
Yeah,
winning,
sportsmanship.
Yes.
Sportsmanship 101, how not to be a dick.
winning gracefully.
Yes.
Yes, that's definitely a thing. I guess, do you want to kick that off?
Yeah,
or-
I would say, and we're not calling out any specific person or any even certain games. This is more of a general topic that has kind of come up and some people have mentioned. And I think that for me, one of the keys is learning the difference between casual and competitive play, because there absolutely is a difference. Now, I'm not saying for casual play, don't build a list that doesn't try to win. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
I think it's also worth saying don't overtly be a dick in competitive play.
there's always some that are going to do it. But I agree with you. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the big thing is that if you only ever play like a tournament list against somebody in regular pickup games, eventually they're not going to want to play you because they're not going to play at that level. Unless they know, like they pre-agree, which we're going to get to on the social contract.
Yeah.
This is part of that social contract. Like, tell folks, hey, I'm going to bring a tournament level list that I'm thinking about playing. I just want you, are you okay to play against that? Or do you have a list you want to try that you think will do okay against that? Don't be like, hey, let's play 2,000 points or whatever, and you show up to play and you're like, oh, here's my list that I designed to literally crush people's faces.
Yeah, this is my shit-kicking list.
Yes. And the other guy's like, I'm going to try out this new character that I've never tried before, and you
Right.
just fucking roll them. That's not fun. That breaks the social contract.
Yeah, let's talk about that really quick, right? Like, so every time you play a game, whether it's just on your kitchen table, if it's at the local game store,
Like,
if
even
it's
a
at a
tournament.
tournament, if GT,
Even if it's LVO,
anywhere
yeah.
from your kitchen table to LVO or Adepticon, when you play a game with another person, whether you've met them or not, you are engaging in a social contract. And you may or may not know this, and so if you don't, then this is
Let's talk
primarily
about
for
what the
you.
social contract
The
is.
social contract is your agreement, and generally it's unspoken, and I would say 99 out of 100 times it's unspoken. It's your agreement with your opponent to play a game that you will both enjoy, right? Like
Yes.
the whole point of playing any game is to have fun, right? It's not to win, it's not to crush the other person's face. It's just so that you guys can enjoy it, right? It's a hobby.
Ultimately, you can't play by yourself.
You
You
cannot.
have to play with another human being. Most people probably would have something better to do with their time than playing the game. Nobody goes into a game saying, I want to put my models down and pull them off the table
Right.
20 minutes later and not even get to do anything.
Yeah.
No one wants that.
Right. You're both here to have fun, and it's not going to be fun for your opponent if all you do is make them put their mouth on the curb and then you stomp their goddamn head in. Like it's not going to be enjoyable, right? So I would say.
Now I know that contract shifts a little in tournaments.
It does.
It's a little bit different than casual games.
But that's a contract itself.
It is.
It shifts a little, but it's not drastically different, right? Like there's an understanding in tournaments that you're both playing at the end of the day to not just have fun, but to win. But the contract still exists, guys. You're still also there to have fun. Like if you're playing a tournament and you are just beating the shit out of somebody, here's a really, really good thing to do, right? Like take a step back, objectively look at it. And I'm not saying throw games or like, that you have to feed your opponent like a bunch of easy kills or something, but like look at your army, look at what you're playing, look at what your opponent's playing, and say like, is there a way that I can, make this game also still enjoyable for my opponent? Is there something that I can give them that they can shoot at or they can fight that isn't necessarily going to cost you the game? Yeah, right? But something to give your opponent something to do so they're not just standing there watching you roll dice and picking up models. Because nobody wants to do that. I've been on both sides of it.
You got to learn how to throttle it back. Like, nothing pisses people off more than when you're already crushing them and you, like, I'm going to pull off this extra little kill just to rub it in. Like,
right.
Or, like, I'm going to cast a spell that makes the enemy's army even worse, although I'm tabling them probably this turn.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to learn to pull the throttle back.
Like, if you have, like, let's just take, like, 40K, for instance. If you're playing a game of 40K and you have made 4 charges with your, sweet Death Company squads, and they're about to break those poor Tau Fire Warriors, and you see like a squad of 5 Pathfinders, and you got to charge your Captain Smashfucker into them, and you don't make it. Don't get huffy when you don't make it. Like you're already beating that person. Like a big part of what I like to say is win with grace. Like there's nothing wrong with winning the game.
No,
right?
Not at all.
There's nothing wrong with building a really good list that just kicks some serious ass. Mm-hmm. But there is something wrong with building a list that kicks some serious ass and then taking it up against somebody who doesn't know that that's what they're going to be doing, and then kind of
that's violating the social contract.
Yeah, hammering it home even more by like
I would equate it to selling somebody a product that you know is defective and you don't tell them, right?
Right.
You just lure them into a contract with you and they don't know all the terms of it.
Yeah.
And in the end, they're disappointed and upset because they didn't know the terms of it.
Yeah, there's no quicker way to find yourself without any opponents who want to play you than breaking that social contract, especially if you break it multiple times, right? Mm-hmm. Like, everybody breaks it every once in a while. We're all guilty of it.
And there's always the games where you'll just have bad dice rolls or
I had one of those last night.
Yeah,
it pissed me off. I rolled ungodly. Like, I never roll well. I rolled really bad. It was, like, bad for me bad.
There's games where, like, you don't really realize that your army's going to counter theirs so well, and it's just kind of like, well, shit, I didn't know it was going to do this to you this time.
Right.
Now, if you do that the 3rd time in a row, people aren't going to believe you anymore. But the first time, there are exceptions.
I'd say, too, like, and this is probably more directed rather than just at gamers in general, but more at veteran gamers. Know your opponent, guys.
Yeah.
Like, if you are playing somebody who is just starting out in your game, maybe use it as an opportunity to help bring them further into the hobby and play a game that's, I'm not saying you got to lose, right? But play a game that's a little more
tone it down,
tilted maybe towards the new guy, right? If you're a veteran player who's been playing for 5, 6, 10 years, whatever, you can probably have a little bit more challenge in your game against somebody who's been playing for like a month.
Here's a tip of mine. If you're playing someone new and you're a veteran player and you have that unit that you never throw into your good list because it's not that good, use it against that person who's a new player.
Right.
Give it a try.
Sure.
You
try something different.
But I mean, I'll give you an example too. When I was a Bug Eater, I played against a guy who had a Nurgle list that you essentially you couldn't. I don't think you could defeat it. I mean,
he got beaten, but only by one list. It was like the one list that countered his list.
Yes, and it was effectively the second I deployed against this guy, he beat me because I didn't realize that the combos he layered on top of his stuff essentially made his army unbeatable.
Yeah,
and he had worked out essentially a mathematical formula with different abilities stacking, whereby unless you had a certain thing to counter it, you lost. You couldn't defeat it. That's not fun. I didn't drive 8 hours to
play that kind of game.
Yeah. Like, sure, he's winning, but I would not choose to play him again.
And he was a nice enough guy.
He was nice enough, yeah.
But that guy was breaking the social contract purposefully every game he played.
Those are people that get enjoyment from breaking the contract.
There are those kinds of games. So if you're the kind of gamer that gets enjoyment just by shredding people like mercilessly, regardless of what skill level they are or what you're playing, you probably shouldn't play at our store. I'll go out there on a limb. Like, we're not the place for you. We're a place that's about community and having fun. Again, that's not to say we don't want you to play good lists, and we don't want you to, enjoy playing good lists, but we also don't want you to just, like, mercilessly grind each other for no reason, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not enjoyable. It's not going to help promote, the community. It's not going to help build new players.
And here's the thing. If you have that list, and then put that on the shelf, save that for going to LVO, save that for going to Adepticon. Come up with a list that is more casual that you can play in this environment. That's all you got to do.
Or play one of the hardcore players, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of us that love playing tournaments, so if you want to play your tournament list,
let
find a
people
tournament
know what
player.
they're getting into.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say there are people who really like playing tournaments here. Usually you can set up a game ahead of time. Like, I've done it where I was like, hey, I'm probably going to take this. Yeah, I was like, I'm probably going to take this list to a tournament. Hey, and I'd literally talk to my opponent ahead of time going, hey, I'm bringing a tournament list. Bring the best you got. And he ended up literally making me bite the curb. And I was like, wow. So I knew I needed refining if I was going to a tournament. Like, we went into that. And I got frustrated during the game, but I was like, but I knew because I asked for that. Because I literally asked for a very good list against me.
It's also, that's another thing I'll talk about really quick. It's also okay to get frustrated too, right? Like, we all do at some point. Like, I was definitely pissed off in my game last night. I was yelling at my dice. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'd roll like 30 dice and get like 12 of them as ones and twos.
Kyle would look to the sky like cursing the powers that be.
Yeah, I was definitely like
looking
oh
up,
my God,
fists
you
in the
gotta
air.
be kidding me. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Seriously, like, I've had bad rolls before, and I usually don't roll that great. This was like just unbelievably bad. Like, I think I had 2 Grimwrath Berserkers in my list, and over 4 turns, I think one of them managed to wound once. Like, it was just bad.
You're basically rolling going,
and
this
it's
is
okay to
statistically
get
impossible.
frustrated, but also if you're being if you find yourself becoming frustrated, understand that you've got to have some grace there too, right? Like, you can't just get like super ragey and like start I've seen it 100 times, like people chucking dice or chucking models. Like, don't do that. Don't be that guy, because you're also breaking the social contract. Because you're kind of taking the piss out of the game.
There's behaviors that are unacceptable.
Right.
There is a code of conduct.
There is a code of conduct. And if you're ever like...
Generally, if you start throwing things, you're probably violating that code of conduct.
Yeah.
Not probably, you are.
You're definitely violating. If you yell at your opponent, if you're throwing stuff around the table, you're definitely violating that. If you're ever, kind of like, I don't know if I'm breaking the social contract or not, come talk to one of us.
Yeah.
Like, we'll let you know. Like,
I'll be a sounding board.
Yeah, and we're not going to be like, we're not going to be mean to you.
I'm
We're
not
not going to
the
be like,
moral
you're a
police,
fucking,
though.
you're a
I'll
fucking
tell you,
dick.
it's probably
Like,
a bit much.
We'll certainly break it to you gently. We're not going to, accuse you of anything. But like, if you're like, hey,
It's like, you
does
effing
this list
asshole,
seem-
cut it off.
right?
Yeah.
Does this seem like a dick power list? If it's like a dickish power list, I'll be like, yeah, it seems kind of rough, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe consider toning it down here or here. So, I don't know, something to think about. And the social contract in gaming is
Like, does this list really need 60 Dark Reapers?
right. Does it really need 60 Dark Reapers? No, it doesn't. Right? If you find yourself bringing like more than 50 of something, it's probably abusive, right? Like, that's
Unless
just,
it's like cultists or blood reavers, like even
then, there's definitely some room to be like, yeah, kind of.
Well, and
abusive.
if you make it too prevalent, GW will hit you with a Nerf bat.
Yeah.
You don't believe us? Look at like Nick Nanavati. He basically single-handedly ruined Death Guard for Death Guard players, and he doesn't play Death Guard.
He does.
He's like, all you Death Guard people, fuck you.
Yeah, he definitely ruined Death Guard for Death Guard players, and he doesn't use them.
Yeah.
He just wanted to use them in that tournament.
He just wanted to abuse the ever-living hell out of the Poxwalker mechanic, and then GW's like, well, we got to tune that down, mates.
Yeah, really. Oh, I guess the Yanks have made it really broken again.
Yep. And meanwhile, there's all of these like fat, pudgy, oily faces of Death Guard players with a single tear streaking down. Like,
no, my one good thing.
damn you,
gone. Yeah. Now, not only does your army not kill shit, but it also doesn't survive anymore either.
Just like the real Chaos Marines, it's back to the Eye of Terror and like self-loathing.
Yeah.
They were spilling
bitter,
out
yeah.
in force. Like, we were taking ground, and then all of a sudden we hit that nerf, and they were like, oh, well, hold on, tactical rearward march.
Yeah.
Time to go back there and rethink some stuff.
Short message, kids, is don't be a dick when you play games. And that goes for every game. It's not just Warhammer or Age of Sigmar or any of that. That goes for every game you play. Magic, board games, D&D. Yeah, it's everything. Understand that you're not the only person at the table, and you're not the only one that needs to have fun. Everybody should be having fun.
So with that, we got a lot of feedback about us talking about movies, so we decided to add this to
we're going to talk about movies a little bit.
Our schedule.
Ryan, you want to kick us off with what you went and saw? I've seen it too. So
Okay. I saw Incredibles 2.
Did either of you see it, Kyle? Or
No.
I haven't seen Incredibles 1, so
I didn't like the
first
wife
one. Wanted to see Incredibles 2, so I was like, okay, I'll go and see it. And I'll say this: they are really lucky they have an infant character, because otherwise they would have had to write in some comic relief or something. But they firmly planted that on the baby in that movie. Well, not bad. It was a good movie. I'm not saying
in the first
bad.
one, right?
Yeah, it worked in the first one.
At the end of the first one, the baby kind of capped off the show.
It was unexpected. Now they just kept doing that. I will say this though, it was a good movie. I did enjoy it. The baby fighting the raccoon it was
phenomenal.
Hilarious.
Yes, it was. There's like a superhero baby fighting a raccoon that's stealing trash, and it's like a duel to the death. It's like a superhero villain fight, but it's a baby versus a raccoon.
Like Peter Griffin versus the rooster.
God, it's good.
Oh yeah, it's like it gets intense. Like they're actually throwing blows and stuff.
Yeah.
How like the whole thing starts off is
where the baby lights the thing on fire and the raccoon's
the raccoon's trapped in the lawn chair and the baby's like trying to throw fiery things at it. And the raccoon finally escapes. It was actually pretty funny. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I enjoyed them. I mean, you're going into it, you know it's a kid's cartoon, but it was fun. I had a good time.
Nice.
It was enjoyable.
There's definitely jokes for
adults.
For adults. I enjoyed that. There was there's a few here and there. They had some the TV program was like some old.
I enjoyed the
Dirty Harry jokes basically.
Yeah. Well,
I enjoyed the old man superhero that just shoots antacid at you.
Oh
Vomits at you.
What was his name? Reflex.
Reflex.
There's an old man superhero.
He just has bad acid reflux, and he just jets like stomach acid at you and starts melting things.
And it's like magma. Like it's just hot magma. He's like, that was pretty funny.
It was pretty good. So it was fun. Last night, Kyle and I went and saw The First Purge. Yeah.
That was good.
Well, we decided after our game of Age of Sigmar last night, we just needed like 2 hours of unbridled violence.
I needed some raw violence to make up for all the fucking disappointment in my Age of Sigmar game.
New Purge?
God damn it.
Yeah, the new one. That's in theaters. Yep. The First
I haven't
Purge.
seen any of them.
No, I haven't either.
This was the first one I've seen.
I know the premise.
I've seen all of them. I enjoy all of them.
Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah, they're all good. They're very on the nose, I guess.
It definitely was kind of a Black Power movie. It was a strong cast of. It was a very heavy African American cast.
Yeah.
The villains were maybe archetypical white supremacists.
It was
even though they were mercenaries.
Well,
and Russians, who were always villains.
So there's definitely like some mercenaries in there, and Russians are always villains. But like, there's like in my mind some level of them that isn't necessarily a villain, or not villains, but not mercenaries. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely think the KKK guys were not mercenaries. I think they were just KKK.
They're like, we're going to go to Staten Island and kill people.
Yeah, right. Like that.
Like, they were going to go to Staten Island and hunt black people. Like, so backing up, I won't ruin the story, but basically it's the night of the first purge. They've decided to try it out on Staten Island to see how it works in society. Staten Island's full of crime and stuff. And they're like, let's let people just kill each other and see what happens.
Moreover, Staten Island is full of poor people.
Yeah, it's mostly
just kind of what the subtext of the purge is all about.
Yes, and when the purge doesn't seem to be going great, essentially the government kind of gives a little kick. And so, like, a motorcycle four-wheel gang of white supremacists help add that little kick in a heavily black neighborhood. So, and then you throw in Russian mercenaries, and I don't know if the last ones were Russians. They seem to be speaking English fine.
It's hard to say, right?
Yeah. They were generic bad guys.
Yeah, just kind of generic.
With creepy masks, basically.
Yeah.
Well-armed, lots of good firepower. But, I mean, if you're going into the movie just wanting lots of violence, you're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah, it's definitely very violent.
There's like crack dude who murders people with a knife.
Skeletor.
Yeah. He's just this real skinny black dude who's got like scars all over his face and is addicted to crack and likes using a knife. Like, that's the character.
He definitely makes like a gauntlet for himself with syringes.
Yeah, he makes a dirty gauntlet. Yeah.
Not that he ever uses it the whole movie, as far as I remember. But
I don't remember him seeing it used, but
he
does make a punchy. Yeah, he likes his knife. He gets to a dance party and he's doing dancing.
He basically makes like a Wolverine glove out of syringes.
Yeah. And then he gets to a dance party, and he's like dancing with people, and then he just starts stabbing them. He's like, I like dancing and I like murder.
Yeah, who doesn't really?
Right.
At the end of the day, who
My
doesn't
two
like
favorite
dances and
things are
murder?
foxtrot and stabbing.
There were certainly a few political messages in the movie.
Well, so the whole Purge series has a lot of political undertones, which is why
I haven't seen the other ones. That's why.
It's definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
You'd get more of it, and more of the background there. It's good. It's fun. It's a good summer shoot 'em up movie, kind of action-y flick.
Don't take the kids to it.
It's not for young kids. The
Even
reason
if
I
you're
think
there, it's still not worth it. I wouldn't. I'm not even a parent. I wouldn't take a kid.
the reason I think I like the Purge series is because I feel like they're not that unrealistic to me.
No, I mean
they're always like all the Purge movies are like we're like 6 bad months away from Purge.
Yeah,
like that's all it would take.
Uh-huh.
And part of that I think is I'll get to the other part of my last word. No,
okay.
that's okay.
It's just
Oh shit!
pure murder. I'm gonna
you
try
better be
and
thinking
see.
about that.
How about you, Drew? Have you seen anything recently?
I did. It's an older. Well, it's been out maybe a year. I saw American Made, which is Tom Cruise is a
I actually want to see
smuggler
that. Yeah.
pilot. It's on HBO right now.
Okay, is it good?
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And
Did you?
yeah, I a guilty pleasure of watching Tom Cruise fly plane movies.
Yeah.
But
I know that's one of Ryan's favorites.
Did he ride a motorcycle? in
It
that
takes
movie?
my breath away.
he did not.
He always.
Did he sprint in that movie?
Are you
No.
sure he didn't ride a motorcycle?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Because it's in like his normal contract that he has to have a scene featuring him sprinting, and another one where he rides a motorcycle.
That's funny.
If you watch Tom Cruise movies, he rides a motorcycle in, I shit you not, all of them, with the exception of Interview with the Vampire. And there's always a scene of him sprinting. Again, I think with the exception of Interview with the Vampire, because
and
the Vampire
usually
Lestat doesn't sprint anywhere.
No.
And
But-
he's, I guess, he's also very specific of the camera angles he wants when he's sprinting.
I believe that.
Like,
He's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
a good.
literally fucking.
It's a good flick.
It looks good.
He
Like
starts
he's like
out-
a pilot for the CIA.
Yeah, he starts out with the CIA, like getting close pictures of the Contra camps down in Colombia and the drug
Was it Contra?
stuff.
I think it was FARC camps.
Whatever it is,
Because
right?
Contra is the deal.
So then he
I know a lot about.
Yeah, they're all. I do know a
Then he
lot about
started-
South American
then he
communism.
starts getting in with the drug cartels,
Yep.
and then it's really good.
I wanna
Say
see
that's
it's really
a bit
good.
of my
Yeah, I'll
weak
watch
point.
Sure.
I don't know anything about. South
One of these
American
days we'll have
communists.
Ryan do a Top Gun review for us because that's all they like to watch in the Navy.
It
is
would
Top Gun.
it would literally take his breath away.
But are you excited for Top Gun 2?
What?
Yeah,
No.
Are they
Yeah.
really making Top Gun
yeah.
2?
He's playing.
What?
He's playing one of the instructors.
A
at the-
wizened, yeah, I was about to say a wizened flight instructor
Yep.
because he's old as shit now.
Yep, exactly.
Now there'll be 2 movies they can watch on the
Because
flight
he's
deck, Ryan.
dangerous.
You know, one of the things I think is funny, like,
Get out of here.
Tom Cruise is one of those actors who I really love the vast majority of his movies, but like when he's not behind a camera,
But
like
you-
when he's not in a movie,
Just like the
I
person.
just like Tom Cruise because
Sure.
he's a fucking nut job.
Yeah,
like that
right.
guy's, he's like jumping on Oprah's couch and shit. He's super crazy.
Yeah.
But like
he's a
I love
great
his. He's a
actor.
great actor.
I'm that way about Keanu too. Like
Yeah.
him as a person, like but I really enjoy
He's a
his
really
movies.
nice guy.
I
Person,
like
isn't it,
Keanu
right?
as
Yeah.
an actor and as a person and as our vampire overlord.
Yes.
Him and Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Cage is aging, but Keanu never.
You know, at what
ages.
point do you transition as an actor to just playing yourself? I mean, if you think about it,
John Malkovich.
John Malkovich,
And Nick Cage.
Nick Cage,
Yeah.
what's his name? Goldblum. He plays
Jeff
Jeff
Goldblum.
Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum does play
Christopher
himself.
Walken.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
They just play themselves. It's like
De Niro.
De Niro's like Christopher Walken. That's
Right.
Christopher Walken.
right.
You
Anyhow,
bring them on for that reason, like right?
Yeah.
It's like, do I need to sell this movie? Like, which of my Rolodex of these people are available? Because people just like watching them. Their
Sure.
antics, their
Yeah.
mannerisms.
Last
Sandler.
word.
Blah. Yeah. Last word.
All right, my last word is I'm still working on getting my 501st costume together.
Mhm.
Turns out getting Imperial officer boots is a fucking
I
bitch.
think that was your
It's a
last word
bitch if
last
you
week.
don't like. It's a bitch if you don't want them to look like dirty hooker boots.
It is.
If you're okay with dirty hooker
Dirty
boots, then
hooker
they're
boots.
easy to get.
So I found these boots on Amazon, and I thought, like, oh, like these look fine. They're cheap. They're from China. They showed up, and I would have looked like a West Colfax street hooker wearing these books. I showed them to Kyle. They were,
I saw them. And I was immediately like, "Those are hooker boots."
yes.
I
That's
really wish
hilarious.
I could have seen CJ with hooker boots. Like
I-
wearing them.
I put them on for a little bit. Well, it was the day you asked me to cover for you, where you had to do something, and I had them on, just trying them on, and a customer came in. So I'm like in like slacks, with a dress shirt wearing like hooker boots helping a guy get magic. That dude was probably like, that's a fucking weird store. Like, what
Right.
the heck?
I doubt it.
And I was like, I don't want to pull him off in front of him because that's even like more.
I don't think
awkward.
Magic players care.
That's true.
They're there for
But-
like whatever card they need for their deck, and they're just like, fuck it. But I say this not as a cut or a dig on Magic players, but I have seen Magic players put up with like unreasonably bad circumstances to get a card or like play a game or something. So that fucking addiction is strong.
The moral of the story is, I mean, I'll just share this a little bit with you. So I've ordered 2 pairs of boots, online, neither fit, and I sent them back. I ordered the hooker boots, and I'm not going to wear hooker boots, which they're still my card.
Keep
Sent them back. No, God, no.
Nice.
They're going back. And then I spent probably 3.5, 4 hours in Fort Collins, literally visiting every store that does equestrian, because they're really equestrian boots.
Yeah.
They're like men's dress boots that are knee-high. And none of them had them. And then I ended up in this awkward situation where I was at Jack's trying on boots, and the guy's like, you do know these are women's boots. And I was like, God damn it, why didn't you tell me that before I start trying them on? I'm like, now I look like some weirdo jackass in the women's section trying to squeeze on women's leather boots.
I like to go to Victoria's Secret and try stuff on things. Yeah, because they can't tell you no. They can't say you can't try them on.
Yeah.
Like
you need to like come out with the underwear on, Kyle. You're like, does this look okay?
I just come out like in shorts and like I have the thong pulled up way above the shorts, like riding high on my hips. I'm like, how does this look?
It's like pulled in the ass crack.
I was like, do I look like 1997 Jennifer Lopez or not? Because I'm beautiful.
So I finally.
You're welcome. So if you bought anything for your girlfriend at a Victoria's Secret in the Fort Collins or Cheyenne areas,
it's probably been in
50-50 that I've tried it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I finally found I'm now on
wash those guys. Yeah.
take 4.
Sometimes I just pretend to be Fergie.
Ordering my leather boots. So, but my costume's ready.
hot.
Other than this, it's so
Nice.
How hard is it to get a pair of German World War II officer boots? Apparently, fucking really hard.
I think that's a good thing in some level.
It's
but
not because they're fantastic looking boots.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the Nazis were snappy dressers.
I mean, here's the thing: if I had a horse farm, I would totally wear these.
It's
like
true,
from my
like-
horse farm. I'd be like, look at me, I'm ready to.
Why is it like
fucking awesome.
fascist dictatorships have like the nicest like uniforms?
well, not all of them. I mean,
No?
I mean, Franco's uniform wasn't particularly impressive in my opinion.
Who?
And
Wait,
Franco, Spain,
Oh.
and
But they did have
Mussolini
knee-high
didn't
leather
have a.
boots.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a 40s thing. I think
Yeah.
more than anything.
I mean, the Cubans didn't really like Fidel and
Well,
stuff.
not fascists,
It was
right?
more like
Communists, so utilitarianism.
Oh, you're right. It's
Yeah.
more good
Yeah.
point.
So
I was just thinking of dictators
all of
in
the
general. It's
communist
very different.
communist dictators are very utilitarianist. So like if you look at Mao or like Stalin, they just have like that kind of generic fat guy suit.
Yeah.
Or
like
they have
Kim
like
Jong-un.
yeah, right. Or like you get like Che Guevara and you get like Castro, and they've just got like kind of plain olive drab fatigues and like a forage cap or something. That's pretty.
Versus
generic,
fascists, they know. Look at Benito. That man wore great, terrible commander, good uniforms.
Yeah, I mean, really
Probably great Italian food too. at
good
his palace.
facial expressions
Yeah.
too. Really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
really like a lot of like really good.
El Duce,
yeah, El Duce. Anyway,
You got a last word?
I do have a last word. The Handmaiden's Tale. I did not think this was a thing that I was going to enjoy, but I absolutely enjoy it. It is phenomenal. You should definitely be watching it. It's kind of like a somewhat near-future dystopian show. What I think is really good about Handmaiden's Tale is it's a setting that I could see us in within 8 months. Like in 8 months, we could be in Handmaiden's Tale, living in like a totally terrifying 1984 like Orwellian regime. Like it's good. It's real good.
I gotta
Go watch
that.
it. I literally I started last week. I'm on season 2 already.
Wow.
Yeah,
How many seasons are there?
There are 2.
Oh, okay. That's a problem for me when there's like 1 or 2, even 3 seasons. It's because I get in binge mode where like
And
I'll be
that's done
painting
right
or
away.
something, and all of a sudden like I'm listening to it while I'm painting, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm halfway through the last season. I'm like, damn it. So,
You got a last word?
I do. So I forgot about a last word. Are you telling me to wrap it up?
We have literal minutes.
Oh, okay. So
Yes,
my
I
last
have.
word, it's not like a commandment or anything, but definitely I've been trying something new for myself, and I recommend it to anyone. Just do something for yourself every day. Like go to the gym, paint
I do
that
something
mini.
for myself every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I start my day with it.
Kyle warped
Sometimes
it.
I end my day with it.
But no, for real.
Other
Like,
times it's a midday surprise.
like take.
uh,
Oh, I love how we hijack our last words.
Yeah.
No, for real though, like paint that mini. Like if you're having a rough day at work, like go sit in a quiet place and eat your lunch and just try to sit down and enjoy just something. And I started doing that for myself, and things have gotten a lot better, like really quick. Go to the gym, just do one thing for yourself that it kind of seems selfish, but like be a little selfish for like 1 hour. Just do something that you enjoy, and you'll find that things of getting the
over a
look.
full hour? I mean,
I just got an image of Kyle being selfish for a full hour.
yeah.
And that was not an image I wanted.
After like 20 minutes, I feel like I'm just getting bored. I'm like, only 40 more minutes
It's always
to go.
something. He's just mashing it.
Yeah, right?
GM Drew, what's your last
Woo!
word?
So you guys were almost lost a host this weekend. I went hiking with my wife up Medicine Bow Peak, which is a 12,000er, and almost slipped off the damn mountain. So there was a snowpack still up there, and I got about halfway across before I slipped, and slipped about 15 feet down. Caught myself on some rocks.
Yeah.
There was one more patch of rocks that I could have caught myself if that didn't work, but after that it was hundreds of feet down. So
Holy crap!
So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you didn't
lesson
die on the
learned.
mountain.
Me too. My wife was freaked out.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it was fun.
That
hike,
would have put a damper on the 4th. I'm not gonna lie.
right?
Yeah.
Well,
Probably the rest of the year.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're here.
I'm here.
You conquered Medicine Bow Peak.
Yeah, it was a 7-mile hike all the way around. And
I would have died. I would have, like, my heart would have exploded somewhere around like
Unlike
10,800 feet, just pop noise, and CJ goes down.
Unlike Drew and Gandalf, I would have chosen to go under the mountain as opposed to over it. I would have taken the Mines of Moria.
Yeah.
I would feel comfortable there.
Yeah, you would.
Anyhow,
So breezy and nice, cool stone halls.
Yeah. I mean, roaring fires and, like, all sorts of malt beer. Like, I mean, there's a lot of reasons to go under the mountain. I mean, my cousin Pollen would throw us.
I feel like you should just, for your house, Kyle, eventually, don't buy another real home. Just dig up a place.
If Jenna were
If Jenna
into
would
it,
let you,
I would
yeah.
definitely be a cave
You would-
dweller.
Yeah, dig Kyle's mountain hold.
Yeah,
It's
I
got
wish
only
that I
one
had a
entrance.
mountain hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like a secret little pass out the
There
back.
is definitely a secret pass out the back. You
There
never have
is.
just one entrance exit.
There has to be like a grand feasting hall, and
Of course.
with at least fake torches.
No, they'd be real. I love fire. But,
So
all
that'd
right.
be awesome.
that's all
you,
the time we
everybody.
have.
We appreciate you listening as always. Tell your friends.
Okay, I love you. Bye. Have a beautiful time.
See you guys. Bye.